Tony, you just told me something really interesting as we were hanging out in the green room, which is that from pitch to release, this movie was only 2 years' time. That shocked me because I always think of animated movies as taking, I don't know, twice that. Was that always the plan? And how were you able to do that so quickly?
Well, first, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having us in this amazing building. I guess I'm thanking the Academy, is what I'm doing. But it's just it's such an honor to be here. So, when Michelle and I pitched it to the studio, it was 2 years ago, and a few places were interested, and we ended up going with Sony. Tom Rothman really believed in it and said, "But the thing is, I want you to make it in a year." And we were like, we that's insane. He's like, okay, two, but no more. So because technology changes so quickly, we didn't know if emojis would totally change in 2 years.
Right.
So we had to make it fast, and it was very challenging. But thanks to the hard work of all those amazing artists that you just saw, we were able to do it.
Michelle, how did you feel confident that you could do it in 2 years as a producer?
What you don't know, what you don't know. I had been an executive in animation for a while, running the production division of Sony, and I knew the head of production there, and I knew the ImageWorks team at Sony, and I felt like if anybody could do it, we could do it. I knew it would be tight, but
Yeah. What was the real fun part? I would imagine a group of you, writers, story people, producers, directors, must have gathered in some kind of brainstorming room to think of all of the fun that you could have. Maybe scrolling through your phone, looking at all the different emojis, thinking like, "Oh, we could do something really fun with this." What was the beginning process like as you were trying to figure out which emojis you would bring to the forefront and which you would even drop in for a gag here and there?
It really started in the script phase with Eric Siegel, my co-writer, and with Michelle. Before we pitched it to the studio, we really worked on it, and we brainstormed, and we knew which kind of apps we were starting to think about and what we had the main basis. And then when we got to the studio, and you get such great people like Mark and Dave and the rest of the team, then you have more brainstorming, and it just takes it to the next level. And it really, you get some of the best artists from around the world, some of the best thinkers, just figuring out that those emojis, how do you make it look like on your phone? So like we thought like the Hollywood squares.
Right.
So they sit in the Hollywood squares waiting to be a star, and we had to design the hand that scans them. So there was a lot of brainstorming between story and art.
When you think back to all the lead roles, was there one that was the hardest to find the perfect person for?
Finding the character of Smiler was really hard. So with Maya, Michelle, Maya, and I had a lot of sessions in the booth where we were trying different voices, and she's so versatile, which means there's a lot of choices. So we would find, and what we ended up with was that Smiler is like the head of the cheer squad, and she wants her squad to win first place in the, and so she really wants
going
it.
to do anything it takes.
Yeah. So that's
Maya landed on that.
Yeah. Were you guys all super excited and surprised to see how the whole idea of Sir Patrick Stewart as Poop just took off to this extent where I think that's the one thing that most people know about this movie, whether they've seen it or not. They're like, "Oh yeah, Patrick Stewart's Poop."
I mean, it was the joke. It was intended to be the joke. We went to him. He got the joke immediately. He never put Sir Patrick Stewart on a credit. He got the joke, and it's the joke.
He wanted to put Sir Patrick Stewart as Poop. Yeah. So
Makes it elegant, Yeah.
Dave, a lot of your work, I would say the vast majority of your work has been on non-animated movies, whether it's Harry Potter, so many different things that you've done for decades. How is your job different, if at all, for a movie like this, given that it's animated?
Well, yeah, I come from a visual effects background, but so we're used to a little chaos. So hopefully, with the production schedule that we had, I was able to bring a lot to that. We have an amazing animation team that works on both visual effects and animation. Up to 350 artists touch this movie. But I think one of the things that we wanted to do here was make the characters very iconic, but give them a very sophisticated look. And so all of the characters and all the objects in the movie, and we had so many different environments to explore and do that with, but they all had a really interesting quality of how the light kind of came through them. So they all had a little bit of transfer of light to make them kind of feel like they were still attached to the light in your phone, the light that projects from your phone.
Mark, can you talk a little bit about how you guys, I think it was important for you all to strike a balance between the technological world and the real emotional world that this movie also lives in, and not to kind of tilt the balance one way or the other, but have both of those come through. Was that something that you worked specifically on?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that whatever, obviously our main character was Gene, but all the emojis and everyone in that phone were servicing a user, Alex, and it was really important to whatever, when things are normal in the phone, the world of the phone, or when things get chaotic, how does it affect the outside user's world, and what would that user do? It was really important to just see both worlds and how they like progress throughout the movie, and how would we solve the problem to fix have the solution.
Yeah, and also I didn't get a sense at the end of the movie that you guys were particularly like pro always being on your phone or anti always being on your phone. The movie kind of sits in a middle ground there, and understanding what they can do, but also understanding the detriment as well, right?
That's right. You want to take that one? Yeah, we worked very hard to make sure that balance, that we didn't have a. At first, we thought we should make a statement about technology, and then we thought it becomes too political. It's much better to tell stories in metaphor and allegory, which is what we tried to do. So that's how we decided to.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to meet all of you.